I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because it comes with the bike. And what happened was the first one that I got, the guy sold it to me on eBay as being complete. And then when I got it, I was like, wait a second, the dude's not in the box. It's just a bike. So the guy was like, all right, well, I'll just refund you all your money. And I was like, sure, I'll send it back to you. And he's like, no, you keep the bike and we refund you the money. So then I went and I bought another one. And so that one came with a bike and a figure. So now I have 2 bikes and one trooper.
Oh, nice.
You said that was a model kit?
Yeah, it's the model kit. And I like them. I mean, what I like about them is that they're lighter, so they stand easier. There's less weight to topple over. And they come out as good as you can detail them. If you add a little bit of weathering to them, they come out good.
Yeah, putting them together, it's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't even need glue.
Yeah,
that Scout Trooper is a good one to have, too, because like if you pay for the Figuarts, which is probably the
best. Expensive.
Right. That's like $200. Easy. Yeah. So.
Wow. All right. Nice.
And like, so I have the Figuarts and I have the model kit and I compare the figures. I feel like they're using the same molds. If you look at because I have like the Death Trooper model and the model kit and I have the Death Trooper Figuarts, they look exactly the same. The only thing is the plastic is it's heavier on the Figuarts kit.
I'm gonna have to get on that game soon.
Yeah, for $30, especially with the Death Trooper. With the Death Trooper, there's no detailing required because it's black, and there's a few pieces of like that light green light piping on it. The only one that requires a lot of detailing was the Shore Trooper and Boba Fett. Boba Fett requires a lot of detailing.
I wish I was that talented to do that. I'm sure JD could do it.
It's not hard.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
You guys, and you can get them on eBay from a US seller for like $35. You don't have to get them from Japan and wait the 3 weeks it takes to get here.
Yeah, I see them a lot on Amazon.
Yeah, there's a guy called Anime King. There's a dude on eBay called Anime King that I think he's importing them from Japan and then selling them at a decent price. $30 is not bad. It's not bad at all.
No.
Not bad at all. Especially if you're getting close to the quality or close to the look that you're getting with the figure arts, then why not? It's an alternative.
Totally. I'm telling you, the molds are the same. They're using the same molds for the model kit that they use for the figure arts.
And you have some characters that you don't have like renditions of, like Grievous. They have a model kit.
Yeah.
For Grievous.
Yeah.
So
I think if you made Grievous out of like regular figure arts plastic, it wouldn't work. It'd be too heavy. But because they're doing it out of lighter plastic with the model kit, you can get it to stand. You know.
All right, cool. Well, we'll circle back around that. What's up, everybody? Hurricane BX here. Welcome to another R.O.C Hangout, possibly the last Hangout, as you know it here on Tuesday nights. I'm not too sure. We'll find out. I guess we'll find out. We'll talk about that. We come to you live every single week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. You can also find the audio version of the podcast on iTunes and Google Play through Podcast Addict. Please remember to subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, as it really helps the show out. If you're watching us on YouTube, like the video, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. And remember to hop into the live chat below. We're going to be shouting everybody out in the chat towards the end of the live stream. Remember to check out our website, realmofcollectors.com. The newly revamped site has a blog section headed up by Paul C. with submissions from members all throughout the realm. You can also check out the archive photos from Jay Ruse's Spotlight segment on ETR. And we have merchandise on the website. Yes. Always. Check the merchandise that we have available on the website. We have some Rock branded shot glasses for $13 ship. We'll get you a pair of those anywhere in the continental US. $30 for the ROC Friends and Family t-shirt. And we have beanies and caps available for $20 ship right now as we speak, and they will be shipped out. All right, let's stay with the rest of the crew. First up, John Attic. How you doing, Pop?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Happy Tuesday, people. Getting ready for this Christmas week to start. It's right here. So my pockets are empty. My house is all gold and red. and I'm ready to see Santa now. So
Nice. In the Christmas spirit.
I wish I was more in the Christmas spirit. To be honest with you, I'm not. But hopefully I'll get there by the end of the week.
Well, you're hanging out with us now. We'll help you get there, brother. We'll help you.
All right.
All right. The analyzer, Brian Brink. How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
All right.
I hope you all doing well. I'm finally getting my act together. A little better.
Woohoo! Let's hear it for Brian.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Was that a bottle of champagne I saw earlier?
Might have been.
All right. Fresh off his cruise. Welcome back, Big Dom. How are you?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good, man. Good to see you, Dom.
Nice tan, man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
The rest of us are fucking freezing out here, and he's sipping Mai Tais on the beach. Very good. I'm jealous.
It was. I was chatting with David before, and it was good break to get away from everything, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to vacation soon. So.
Yeah, I was
feel you.
disconnected with everything, so I just, the phone was stayed in the room and just having a good time, enjoying
Nice.
company with my wife and everything, and just relaxing.
Nice, man. You didn't have to deal with no fuck you Doms from Dave all week and shit, right? What a
No fuck you Doms, no, where's the fucking chair? None of that shit.
You have people fetching you chairs while you were out there this time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Personal butler, just whenever I needed a seat, he was there. No, but the ship was fun. I enjoyed it. We had a good time. Weather could have been a little bit better, but it was sunny while we were on the beach, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, welcome back. Glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Extra Zero.
How's it going, everybody? I apologize in advance. I'm sounding a little bit, little rough. I've got a sinus infection, and I'm medicated, so that's extra medicated this evening. But I have to trooper through. I have to soldier through. Ready for the holidays. Happy to be here tonight. Ready to talk about certain film that came out. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Next up, Big G Money.
What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday. It's good to see you guys. I'm glad to be here. I'm not going to complain about the weather, Dom. It was like 60-some degrees here today, so mid-December. I'm not hating it, so it's nice.
Not at all.
Makes it tough to get into Christmas spirit, though. I will agree with what Dave said, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a couple days off here this weekend coming up, so it'll be nice.
Nice. All right. How are you?
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
Pretty very well.
Pretty good, Jay.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm swell. Thank you for asking.
You don't hear that too often anymore. The word swell.
Whenever I hear that, I always think back to Superman 1 when Lois is like, swell. Like, nobody says swell.
Nope.
And that movie was, what, 78?
Yep. Something like that.
Let's bring it back, guys. Let's start using that term.
I say that shit all the time.
Word up. All right, next up, Tim K. How are you?
Hey, what's good, guys? I'm pretty good. Yeah. Had a good day. A little bit of Christmas spirit today. How's everybody doing?
Good, T.
Yep, we're good.
Fantastic.
Good to hear.
All right, and next up, Todd 1. How are you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Todd?
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm chilling. I'm still recovering from that travesty that I saw over the weekend.
That's good, huh? This is gonna be a long night.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the first time I saw a Star Wars movie, and I was like, I don't think I want to pay to see it again. And then I downloaded the KO, and
You get that Wei Zhang Star Wars.
I got the Wei Zhang Last Jedi, and I've seen it 3 times, and I just can't, man. I can't. I'm having issues with it.
All right, we'll get back to that.
We'll get there.
Yeah, let's run it back down the line for some collect and connect. So, Brian, I'll start with you.
Yo. A little bit of collecting, but mainly I'll say I did some connecting over the past week. I did go see The Last Jedi with a bunch of people from the Cool Table, which was a lot of fun. Shout out to Mr. Skullface for inviting me because he had an extra ticket. So I got to hang out with some people that I hadn't seen in a while, and got to talk to some people that you get together for like TFCon and stuff like that, and everything's such a blur. Sometimes you don't get a chance to actually talk to someone. So I actually got some chances to connect and talk to those guys some more. So that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
Nice. Heard it was like 2021 deep that day. That's pretty dope.
They took up the whole last row.
Squad goes. All right. Dave, you hear me?
You said me? No, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. On the collecting front, I've been low key, again, spending a lot of money on Christmas gifts and shit. But I did pick up some SH Fig Arts on the cheap. I got 2 clone troopers phase 2s from Mr. D Amazing. Hooked me up on a real cheap price, so thank you.
So how many phase 2 troopers does that make for you now, Dave?
I have 4.
Cool. I'm at 4.
Oh, really? No shit.
We're 4 clone trooper brothers.
Are you guys gonna paint them at all?
No, I just need mine for a backdrop to those Entertainment Earth exclusives mainly, and to go behind Cody and Rex.
That's the good thing about getting the model kits. You get those, and then you can easily paint them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
If I do decide to do that, Todd, I'll probably ship it to JD.
That's all right.
I'll throw him
They're not hard, man. You
Fig
gotta
Art
try it.
for himself, and then.
But see, the thing is, when you do something yourself, you tend to see all the flaws in it, and that's things like I used to do model kits a lot, but I would always constantly see the flaws in what I did. So I get where Dave's coming from. Where if you want something to look like great, you go to somebody that you.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how you learn. But
I'm telling you, they're not hard.
Mm-hmm.
You should give one a try.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be amazed.
Okay.
They're not like they're not like Revell or Monogram kits where you put them together and you got to putty them to make them look half decent afterwards. Like these things go together like a snap tight kit. Like you'll be surprised. You should try it.
So, Todd, I'm literally gonna probably buy 2 of them on Friday just for you pushing it so much today. Honestly, I'm gonna do it. I've been debating for a while, and finally somebody's telling me just do it. I'm gonna just do it. So
you know what kits are fun? The R2D2 and the R5D4 kit is nice. If you want some Astromechs.
Wow.
And they scale perfectly with the 6-inch stuff.
Yeah, those clone troopers. I just found $17.85. Does that sound right?
Yeah, but that's from Japan. So you're gonna have to wait like 2 weeks to get it. I'm telling you, there's a dude over.
Oh well, dude, my shit's in totes. I can wait.
Yeah, exactly. I'm okay to wait. My shit's in Japan now, anyway.
I'm impatient, man.
On the connecting level, though, Jose, I will backpack what Brian said. I went to the movies with a few people. First, I went on Friday to see Star Wars with my wife, and she sat through the whole thing. She didn't fall asleep, and she had a bunch of questions at the end. So I kind of felt like, she took a little bit in, and she was curious. So, being friends for 13 years, married for 4, and her finally asking Star Wars questions is kind of like a turn on. So
nice.
I was like, this was a good day, the following day, I went with the Riddler Circle and a few of my other buddies who are like, semi Star Wars fans and not really like big into it. They've seen all the movies, but they don't really follow it like us. And it was nice to be with them too, because at the end of the movie, they had a bunch of questions, and some of them, even during the movie, were like whispering in my ear, like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Dude, like, are you serious? That's Luke Skywalker, bro." Like, but but I was okay with it because I had seen the movie already before, so I was ready to answer any questions for them. But that was my connecting of the week, I would say.
Nice. Yeah. All right. I'm still with us. I think he's having some issues. We'll skip to Extra Zero next. Extra Zero. Your turn, if you can hear me. Extra.
He looks frozen.
Yeah, I think so too.
Man, everybody issues tonight. All right, G Money. I'll skip to you next.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, let's see for the collecting piece. I got. I haven't opened it yet. My Mezco Wolverine arrived today, which is funny because that was one of those things that I felt like it was so long ago. I almost kind of forgot that I even ordered it. But that came. But actually, I was most excited. I got the G1 grinder head for my blue G2 Grimlock that my wife gave me for my birthday a couple months ago. So
Did the universe just explode? I got my G1 head from my G2.
Is that right? I think what was funny about that was when she had ordered them. It was a pre-order, and I saw that they were in stock. So I was like, "Oh, you better check it." And it had already shipped. So Toy Dojo had already sent it out. So that was pretty awesome to see. But she was I think happier to see it arrive than I was. And then really just kind of the connecting piece. I saw Star Wars. Ended up just kind of doing it solo on my day off last week while I was here. But same thing. Had some good connections with the people participating in the weight loss and wellness challenge. So I'll give a quick update on that a little bit later.
All right. Cool. All right, JD, how about you?
I didn't get much. I mean, I got some mostly like Star Wars Black Series stuff. Some more troopers and stuff like that, like shore troopers and Death Troopers and stuff. But I got a Shrewd and Baze from Rogue One finally. Extra Zero actually sent me a Hera and a Rose that he found. Thanks for that. Of course, went to see Star Wars a bunch this weekend. On the connecting level, just I got to hang out with my dad, my brother. I don't get to see them much. And I had some friends visit from Colorado over the weekend, so I got to hang out and catch up with some old school peoples, and that's pretty much it.
They bring any of that Colorado agriculture with them?
No.
That's what I would
No.
I'd be wary too, though, if I had to get on a plane.
Yeah.
Not when you went with Energon Addict. Don't worry about that.
Why does this stuff smell like ass?
Shout out to balloons.
All right, Dom, you're back with us. How about you, brother?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I actually picked up, got the Mezco San Diego, that's like New York Comic Con exclusive, the Wolverine. I finally got that in, so that was an item that I picked up while I was away, and it actually came today. So, and my connect is that I got one on layaway for Dave.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep it right here, perched up by my picture until like Dave sends me the money, and it's be good to go.
Look at me, Dave.
Listen, Dom, I've gotten a little smarter over the past few months. I realized that you have a lot of stock, and I'm just gonna let you hold my stuff for me because I have it displayed now anyway. So between you and me, you guys have like a bunch of shit for me, like just chilling. So I'm okay.
No problem, buddy. It'll chill here for you as long as you want it to.
You guys all heard that, right?
What? Yeah. Everybody heard that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, make sure you don't ship it to him until he pays you every penny. But I guess he's gonna take his time.
Damn, bro, what side you on, man? It's the Puerto Rican fucking brotherhood, man. Shit.
Business is business. All right.
I got you, Dave.
Extra, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. So on the collect front, I got a few things. The one that I'm kind of most interested and happiest with, I took the gamble on, was the Zeta Toys version of Air Raid, and I like them a lot. I know a lot of people are on the fence with them. Now, I kind of want to go with getting these guys to be my combined Superion, but for $60, this thing's really, really nice.
Yep.
I can't stop transforming it back and forth. It's
That's
solid.
the other thing. He's really fun to transform back
Yeah.
and forth.
He's growing on me.
Yeah.
He's growing on me definitely. And the next one's supposed to be released next week.
Yeah. I think it's Firefly is coming out next week, and he looks good too. So he's going to be. You'll get an idea of how the arm mode is, but the leg mode here, it's really solid. So I'm looking forward to completing this set. I got another Tyrant Tron, so I've got one to keep in Gladiator mode. Everybody knows I've been kind of like going nuts with MMC stuff. I also got a Fella Saber for $12 off of eBay.
Dude,
really.
I thought when I got one, dude, I thought when I got one for 35, I got a deal. That was years ago.
Wow.
I still need that actually.
35 a deal is freaking $12 and even fucking better.
The only issue I have with them is like when I got them out of the box, I was like, "Oh, the owner smoked." Because
but hey, did you get your penguin with it?
Yes, I got the penguin with it.
Oh yeah.
So that was the first thing I checked too. I was like, I bet this guy's salty. I bet he kept the penguin, but no, it's all there. And then last but not least, I got a Figuarts Doctor Strange. So I got that. Got that
was that when you scored at Barnes and Noble?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a buddy of mine was in Jersey for Walker Stalker, and he was like, "Yeah, they got Doctor Strange there." I was like, "Pick me one up."
I've never seen that one at Barnes and Nobles. I keep seeing the Iron Man one.
Yeah,
the Iron Man. I bought one when I got home. It was spider wrapped. I think I put the video in the chat.
You showed us. It was crazy.
And so I didn't even think to look. I was like, "Well, this thing's spider wrapped out at home," and I was like, "Motherfucker!"
What happened?
Took the Iron Man out of the box.
No.
Because that box isn't taped or anything. And so they left like the hands and the thruster effects in there, and then like the Hall of Armor piece. I took it back to Barnes and Noble. I was like, "Look, you aren't going to believe this, but there's no Iron Man in here." And I was like, I got the lady that rang me up to do the return, and she's like, "Oh my god, no!" So,
dude, I saw somebody post ridiculous deals on that Doctor Strange. It was like your membership, and then it was and then dude,
it was 30%, membership 20%.
Yeah.
And then there was a 25. Yeah.
Because that one was like one of those exclusive ones, right? Because I mean, it had the extra parts and stuff.
Yeah, he comes with a lot of shit, and the fire effects are actually really cool because some of them are ball jointed, so you gotta like pop them together, and you can it's really cool. The Connect front, it's actually an interesting one this week. I've been wearing my Realm of Collectors hoodie out and about, and I get a lot of questions. What is the Realm of Collectors?
Yep.
And I have been directing a lot of people our way, so hopefully we see some new members. So I think that's been pretty cool. That new logo is pretty eye-catching and visible, and I've been enjoying explaining the Realm to people while I've been out and about. So
awesome.
Realm.
All right, Tim, how about you, brother?
Yeah, collecting wise, nothing figure wise. I got a few additions to my movie collection. I got the Game of Thrones season 7 steelbook with the magnetic sigil of the town of Dragonstone. I got the Dunkirk steelbook and a very belated birthday gift by my father. We had a little confusion around: are we still doing presents? Are we not doing presents? So I now got for my birthday the DC Comics Encyclopedia. Pretty big one.
Is that a pop-up book?
No extra. No pop-up. Why? Do you want something to pop up?
It was very entertaining. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so. No, it's not one of my main fandoms, but thanks for asking. Connecting what Star Wars for me. Sunday, I went with a brother from my town here. Pretty much same as Dave. He's not too big on the Star Wars and everything like us. He's a nerd at heart, but he's way more of a meddler and collecting CDs and vinyls and stuff like that. So yeah, that was that for me. Looking forward to the Star Wars tour.
Me too, puppy.
All right, Todd, anything new?
Yeah. So let's see. Saturday I went to the mall, and I walked into J.C. Penney, and lo and behold, I found a Darth Revan on a shelf.
Holy
Yes,
shit!
nice.
Yeah, and I have been hearing about it. The old J.C. Penney's were getting that wave, and I was like, yeah, what are the odds I'm gonna walk into a J.C. Penney and see Darth Revan right there? And yeah, I picked it up, and then when it rang up, it was $12.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Nice.
you can't beat
Goddamn.
that. And then after that, we went to a new Barnes and Nobles. They opened up here in Virginia, and I used that 30% plus the 25% coupon. I picked up the Luke speeder, the Black Series speeder for like $30.
Nice.
And then I've been playing a lot of Battlefront, especially the space battles. That's my thing. And I've been feeling I'm appreciating more of the Clone Wars vehicles, and I never was a fan of connecting like the Clone Wars 3 3 3/4. So I got a brand new in the box V-wing,
Yes.
and then I got one of these boys
awesome.
brand new in the box that I'm really loving.
Yeah. Fucking
Arc 170.
170.
Oh wow.
I love this thing. You know,
Thing is dope.
Dude,
and you know what? They don't make them like they used to. Like
Huh.
we've gone past the quality coming out of Hasbro.
Yep.
like, dude, that's a 3 3/4 like ship, like a model or
Yeah.
a toy.
It's a ship. It's a
It's
toy.
a toy.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking about there's a material that you can mold stuff out of, and then you fill the mold with this material, and you can actually upscale it. And I was thinking of doing that with some of those ships.
That would work. Because
Like
the stuff from the Legacy collection and the Vintage collection was like the best that you're ever going to see come out of Hasbro. I think, especially I've been seeing the junk they've been making lately with the 3 3/4. And that's what I've picked up as far as collecting. And then as far as connecting, I took my girlfriend to go see The Last Jedi on Thursday night, and then on Sunday I went to the range and got to shoot my new 9mm.
nice.
Nice.
Bang bang.
Yeah, bang bang.
That's good shit. As for myself, my favorite pickup of the week, I didn't get many things, but this thing finally came in. It's the Knights of the Slice, Knight of Synth, and the name of the character is Brick. It looks like a Power Ranger kind of. But if you search the hashtag like Toy Pizza, like on Instagram, you can see a lot of great photos of this guy. It's basically based off that synthetic human mold that was put out by 1,000 Toys. Shares the same basic mold, so the posability is crazy. It's got a few accessories here, and I didn't expect it to come like on a blister card packaging. So now,
So
because
is
of the packaging,
Is it friendly packaging, or is it like you open it and it's done? Like custom?
yeah, if I tear this open, it's done.
Oh, it's glued. It's glued.
Yeah, it's glued on. Their synthetic human piece came in a box, like the way a lot of other figures come. So you could take it out, put it back in, no problem. And this thing costs $80, so there's no way I'm gonna buy another one just to keep in package and once I open. So I'll probably wind up opening it. As far as connect,
Go ahead.
you had a question?
Oh yeah, no. When somebody, Todd, when you mentioned Revan, I forgot that I got a package today, and I just wanted to show you. Amazon is advertising movies on their boxes now.
I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that.
So this is The Greatest Showman. Like, dude, what the heck is that?
Oh, I haven't seen those yet.
I saw this on my step, and I was like, "What the frig?"
They played the trailer for that at The Last Jedi. I'm not a fan of musicals like that.
But,
Dude,
the whole box. Yeah. It's like crazy.
That's like in New York. Do you guys remember seeing in New York when Verizon was advertising Fios on like pizza boxes and the Chinese canisters, the Chinese? Did you guys ever see that when Fios first hit New York?
I never saw that either.
Yeah, I did. I've seen that before.
The worst is like when you go into Walmart and you go in the electronics section and they have the
Yeah.
Verizon Fios people there, like, and they basically
Where do you
behave
live?
like. I live in Maryland, so.
No, I know. That's what they usually text. Where do you live? Do you have Fios?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they remind me of like people like walking door to door with the Bible, and they're like, "Yo, have you heard about Verizon Fios? Yeah, I got Verizon Fios. Oh, praise the Lord."
Yeah, those are the optimum people by me, and I'm like, I already got Verizon. Good. I'm
But
happy.
anyway, Jaina Solo is in the box.
There
Jose,
you
sorry,
go.
sorry to steal your thunder there.
Did you pre-order or did you get lucky and actually find it in stock?
It's pre-order. This came in the Amazon box. Yeah.
Yeah. It went on sale today, a couple hours ago, and like gone.
Oh, damn. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I got mine, but and I got lucky. I told you guys last week that I picked one up off eBay for like $30 shipped.
Yeah.
Just because the stuff just came out, and then it's eventually going to be available at retail, right? It's just if you want it right now.
Makes me wonder though if Todd was able to go into JCPenney just this week and get a Revan for $12, how bad is this distribution that you can't get a character?
Oh,
exactly.
Hey, did you guys read the bio on the box? It says here, daughter of Leia Organa and Han Solo, Jaina Solo is a Jedi student of Luke Skywalker, and she was left on Jakku to be sold into slavery. How about that?
Yeah,
dude. Mystery solved.
Would that make a lot of people happy? I'm sure we'll discuss. I also saw the movie on a Thursday night with my girlfriend, and Dave, I can't say the same thing you did. She wound up at a couple of spots there. I'm not gonna blame her. She gets up for work at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? And I dragged her to the flick. She's usually crashing at 7 o'clock, so I kind of kept her up past her bedtime. So I don't blame her, but I told her no more Thursday movie openings for you. That's it. You're done. You're cut off. So and also for the connect part, made another connection in the realm today. Jason Young, who's a member of the realm, and he's in the R.O.C Wellness Challenge. He sent me a friend request, so it was cool to connect with him. He's trying hard and doing his thing in the competition. So shout out to that dude.
And he jumped on the hangout last night too, so it was cool to talk to him.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep.
Awesome. Gary, did you want to give us a quick little update?
Yeah, I'm going to go quick this week because I know there's a lot of more pressing things on people's forefront of the mind. Yeah. But Sunday was the first official check-in. And look, I'm excited to say all 23 members who are participating got me their stats. And you've got some people making some huge progress. I'll probably put a couple updates, in that group later on this week. But it was just great that everybody was able to get their information in. So we are still at a full competition. So, like I said, you got to hit every one of the check-ins to stay eligible for the grand prize, first prize, winner takes all. But it was nice to see, and then just doing some discussions and connecting, and a lot of support continues on with everybody's working on there in that group. So we'll keep it going. And I know it's tough. We all know it's tough this time of year, particularly, Christmas weekend and parties and treats and snacks and work events and social stuff. So everyone just, do the best that you can with it. And we did it on purpose so that we'll get some good momentum going into the first of the year. So.
All right, sweet. All right. And I touched on it on the top of the show. Pretty much Christmas week. Next Tuesday is the 26th. So right at this moment, I can't for sure say if we're going to be having a show or not. Most likely no, but we'll keep you posted if we do wind up doing a show. So with that said, this could potentially be the last hangout of the year, and it's probably going to be the last hangout that we're going to have here on Tuesday nights. I don't want to sound cryptic at all, but if you've been following on Instagram and in the Facebook group, you've been seeing some photos. You can see it on a little blurb there on my name. January 2nd, 2018. Something's coming. It's going to be something. And about it right now. But all I'm saying is just stay tuned to the Facebook groups. Stay tuned to Instagram. If you don't listen to any of the other podcasts within the Pool Table Network, I would suggest you listen. You might get some clues. And
who's the guy with the beard and the broken hammer? Do we know yet?
I wonder. And all I'm gonna really say, if everybody wants to kind of chime in or whatever, real quick on this, I think I would say this channel 8 p.m. On January 2nd, 2018. I think it would be worth your while to do so with us, and that's all I'm really going to say about it. If anybody else wants to kind of say any words, go ahead.
Yeah, make sure you're fucking watching on the 2nd at 8 o'clock on this channel. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Daddy's gonna get you.
So yes, stay tuned to the Facebook group Realm of Collectors and check out the Instagram. Follow me on Harrican BX. I'll be dropping clues there. Follow Energon Addict. He's going to be dropping some clues, and of course the Realm of Collectors on Instagram. That there was a movie that came out on Thursday. We're gonna spoil the shit out of it. We're gonna have a spoiler discussion, guys. So I'm gonna give you a warning. If you haven't seen it and you're watching the show, you don't want to be spoiled. Kind of back out.
If you haven't seen it, what kind of fucking nerd can you call yourself?
I'm glad JD said so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, I hope everybody got to see that movie over the weekend and you could
I
continue.
think Russ is probably triggered now.
Oh, shout out to Russ. Exactly. He's watching it on Christmas, guys. It's a family thing for him. So.
Oh man, Russ is gonna be friends with anybody this whole fucking week. You know? It's like shit.
All right,
That's all we've been talking about.
Yeah, so Star Wars Last Jedi came out Thursday. All of us, I think, have an opinion on the movie. I'm going to pass the mic to Dave real quick, though. You know what I'm saying? I think Dave will just...
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask this question to each of you. I'm going to ask you first what you rated the movie, and then I'm going to ask you why. So, you know, as brief as you can be, sum up your idea of what you thought of it. And I'm going to start it off with JD.
Oh, he picked me. Wow. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Smoking crack.
It was not. It was. You know, I kept seeing posts. Oh, this is probably the best Star Wars movie that anybody's ever written. Blah blah blah. It was well written. I'll give him that. It was not the best Star Wars movie ever. There were some things that definitely could have been left out. If Finn and Rose would have stayed put, they like the entire the whole Resistance probably would have survived. But you know, I don't. You know, there was things I don't think that needed to be there. Some of the humor, I mean, they could have done without it.
A lot of the humor they could have done without that.
They definitely went over the top with it. I mean, I still laughed every time I saw it, but at the same time, you know, Empire, Return of the Jedi, New Hope, they were a bit more serious, you know. So
I'd argue that maybe, but I won't do it right now. Right.
And I was disappointed that I did not hear I have a bad feeling about this.
So on that
was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, so JD, on that, I heard that it's in there. You may just have to think about an alien saying it.
For real? Really?
For real, yeah.
They were saying that BB-8 said it in droid language.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what he was telling Poe when Poe was like they was going to go against the Dreadnought.
Oh, and then he's like, yeah, okay. I could see that.
Like, I agree with the droid.
Give me the fucking subtitles then. God damn it.
Yeah, you know,
make it obvious.
All right.
And
so
the Leia thing was a little like.
Oh god.
What was your favorite thing about the movie overall?
My favorite thing?
Yeah, like what stood out to you that gave an 8.5 for you?
Well, definitely the saber battle. Luke and Yoda being together. Of course, space battle stuff. You know what I mean? It opened up with pretty epic space battle.
That shit was incredible.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, those would probably be the three highlights for me.
Okay.
What else you got?
I just want to ask everybody's overall fucking, rating and idea of the movie. So I'll jump to Todd because Todd was already kind of chiming in with you. So let's see what Todd thinks.
I rated it a 6.5. I thought the cinematography was great. I thought the score was on point compared to Rogue One. I'm a World War II buff, so I like the bomber scene. It reminded me of a B-17 bombing raid over Germany.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. The humor was just not good at all. I don't like how they're portraying Hux. I think every admiral should be like a Thrawn or what's the other dude's name?
Grand Moff Tarkin or
Tarkin. Yeah, Tarkin. The whole scene with Rey in the cave and the images, the duplicating images of herself and the snapping, I just didn't get.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
I didn't get that scene. I don't know. The Space Horses I did not care for.
Yeah.
And it's, I want to hear an alien language. I want to see subtitles. I don't know.
See, no subtitles.
I want to see subtitles. I want to read. I feel like they're just making it too kid friendly. Well, what making a kid read? Don't do that. So let's pull subtitles out of the movie. I didn't care for it. I just didn't do it for me. And the more I see it, the more it solidifies the fact that I don't like it. I mean, the whole weekend they were playing back-to-back Star Wars movies in TNT, and as far as everyone says the prequels are, you could put on a prequel and get sucked into it. Except when Anakin's messing around with Amidala, I love you, but
you're breaking.
Other than that, like I enjoy the prequels. I don't think this is a movie that like 5 years or 10 years from now I'm gonna be like, oh, the last Jedi's on. Let me stop what I'm doing and watch it on TV. My opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a decent opinion. I kind of agree with you a little bit with the Hux, but then again, I kind of don't, because like if you like, I watched the movie 3 times, so basically that whole front brig was fucking taken out. Like Leia was the only survivor, so I'm assuming if Leia died and Akbar died, there was probably 3 or 4 other people in that room that probably would have taken their place, and she was like in the back burner. So she was kind of put in a spot where she's been around, she's been in the rebellion since the beginning, but she basically didn't have that strong will that you were asking for. So I think that I kind of like the character that she portrayed.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Hux. The purple hair lady. Holdo, yeah.
Well, Todd said he didn't like Hux.
The skinny dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought he didn't like he said something about the Admiral before.
Hux.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Imperial.
What's the chick from Jurassic Park?
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
Right, so that's not Hux, right? That's Holdo.
No.
Right.
Yep.
We both got confused with that, but
she should have told Poe what she was doing. Like, why are you guys?
Absolutely.
You're
No, she shouldn't have. Poe should have asked. Poe
exactly right, Brian.
He did ask her. He did ask her if she had a plan. And she
doesn't have to. She doesn't have. She's an admiral. She doesn't have to answer him. And look, that's one of my strong points. Is like it was stupid. You pulled a mutiny and pulled weapons on the admiral. And what did she turn around like half an hour later? Oh, I like him. And everybody's like having a good laugh, because he's it was stupid.
Your turn, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, I think she was put in a spot where she didn't know what the fuck to do. You know what I'm saying?
She had a plan. She had a plan.
Yeah, she had Leia's plan.
She just didn't communicate it.
If you're admiral, you're gonna communicate your plan to the commander. He's not a lieutenant. He's not a second lieutenant. He's a commander.
He's a captain.
No, he was demoted.
Yeah, he was. He didn't have He didn't have access anymore. He didn't have the title.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she knew, like, as he's a run and gun type of guy, she had to think that he had something up his sleeve, that he was going to do something foolish.
Dude, he's an X-wing pilot. He's one person out of how many other pilots that they had. So what makes him so special?
Yeah, but if you know the backstory to Poe, like his mom was a pilot during the Battle of Endor. His father was like an infantryman. So he's been around the resistance, the rebellion. So Leia knows him. Leia's basically Leia was close friends with his mom. So that's the reason why she had to think for him.
But I don't think Ryan Johnson read any of that.
No, he didn't read shit. He just basically was like, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do and whatever, and let somebody else fix this shit.
He's the one that blew up the sky base, so it's like he should have all
He's
rights
part
to
of-
communications.
part of it,
yeah,
yeah.
he's part
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. So
And
if she
and
just told him the plan, he probably wouldn't have done half the shit that he did,
Mm-hmm.
and told Rose and Finn to go do what they did.
I want to talk
Then
about.
we wouldn't have
Star
had a
Wars.
character. We wouldn't have had a movie. We wouldn't have anything going
Exactly.
on that
That's
ship.
what
It
I'm
would have just
saying.
been everybody holding hands and waiting for the fucking end.
Nah, they could have.
So-
They
But
could have done something. They could have wrote something.
That's the
different.
failure of writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next, Dave?
Gary's next because Gary has
So
a
I jumped in. No,
Yeah.
so I'll say this: I rated this. Like, to me, it was a 6. I only saw it once, but it was in the middle of the day on Friday, and it wasn't very crowded, so I kind of really got to sit and digest it. Yeah, as best you can, watching it for the first time. I just thought some of the story, we talked a lot of the points already. The whole slow space chase just didn't make any sense to me. Like, I really just didn't believe that they couldn't speed that up at all. Like, the First Order with the resources that they had. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me as far as that goes.
But then again,
We talked a lot of
bombing
Go
in a zero gravity. They're also dropping bombs in a zero gravity environment. So
yeah. I mean, look, it just, but that part of the story just, I don't know, it didn't do it.
Star Wars is no slave to
So,
science, so I won't.
Yeah.
I won't logically, debate some of those type of things.
because there shouldn't be explosions and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Some things can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a character like the Flash. He should be able to just beat anybody.
No,
without
I just
problem.
it wasn't. I'm not debating the science of it. I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I get they did it for a story, but it just seemed off. Like, we're being paced, and people can leave and try and find the tech guy, right, for the hacker, and then come back. Still, it's just, I don't know.
Pointless.
What I will say is it made me like a character that I didn't really care much about. Like, I really liked the arc with Kylo. And I was so hoping that, like, Rey was going to join him, not him turn to her and be good. I thought that would have just been really cool to see.
Me too. Gary.
Yeah. And when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, they could have just done something so different.
And it was set up like it was so set up that way because she felt abandoned. Luke wasn't working, helping her out at all. So it seemed like it would be a good
Logical choice
to the point, and it'd be a shocker. And I just feel like it would have been a good plot twist, and maybe something happened in episode 9 where they whether she stayed bad and Kylo stayed good or turned good, whatever the case may be. But I felt like it would have been a better story if that was the case.
But, right, and but that's like an opinion about which way it could have gone. I just felt like the rest of it, the movie, was just very repetitive again. The final planet battle was just like Hoth. Although, listen, I want one of those new AT-AT walker things for sure, man. I thought those things looked awesome. I thought it was one of the coolest kind of vehicles I'd seen in a long time. But even that, it's like the old rusty speeders are matched for a bunch of TIE fighters. You know what I mean? Like, how was that even? It just didn't make any sense to me, like, that it was any type of a battle.
Yeah, that humor part again where the feet breaks through the speeder. I was like, oh my god.
on a planet made out of salt.
That makes sense.
It would have been cool
I
if
like that.
they would have broke out like the old snow speeders from Hoth, like they had those sitting in, But like the bombers, just they would, knowing that they had the B wings, and then to go from the B wings to that, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't. I mean, Tyler, a lot can change in 30 years. So I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah. But if you look at the vehicles, like you compare the vehicles from the Clone Wars to the vehicles during the original trilogy, they got better. They didn't get worse. I feel like everything's getting worse.
I don't think the Imperial stuff's getting worse. I think it's basically they're using antiquated stuff, and that's like one of the things they tried to set up in the prequels.
Yeah.
That everything had like this. If you look at like the way 1950s cars are rounded, and Lucas had tried to set up the the original trilogy to look like the stuff from the serials from like the 30s and 40s, where everything was like rounded and had that aesthetic like the 50s.
I mean, essentially, the ARC
theme of
170 is an X-wing.
Yeah.
That's what's becoming X-Wing.
But like
Yeah.
the theme of the movie was, the best weapons go for the higher bidders. So you would see the
Right.
resistance having less money, so they would only get the the cheapest stuff or the
Right.
non high tech stuff, where the First Order will get the best stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's subtle. That was a subtle message because you obviously see the First Order is powerful, and and the rebellion is on its last legs. Point, we find out that the weapons are being sold by these people.
One ring a ding.
And obviously, the rebellion is getting the short end of that stick.
Right.
In The Force Awakens, the Resistance was small. They had no idea that they existed. When Poe walked into the Star Destroyer, he was like, "Wow, they have this!" Like they didn't realize how big they were, and now all of a sudden, like they're running the galaxy again. Wait a second, they just destroyed their biggest weapon, and then like a week later, they're running the galaxy because they blew up one system. It doesn't make sense.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the thing is that we haven't really seen how big the First Order really is. We're seeing very small, parts of like a fleet. You know what I'm saying? A very small section of this empire. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been my thing with Star Wars. Is like, I'm not into the expanded stuff. So if you're just going by what you see in these films only give you very short periods in time.
Yeah.
But all this shit is supposed to have gone on, especially between the last trilogy to this trilogy.
Yeah.
So I saw like an article where people were upset because it's like, basically wipes out the original trilogy. The rebellion and what Luke did and what the rebellion did in Return of the Jedi doesn't matter. Look, the First Order is in control. The rebellion is on its last legs. But obviously there's a big gap in time, and we don't know between these films. Obviously we know the rebellion is in a bad place, and the First Order is running shit.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of exposition as to like what's going on, but it turns out the Resistance is a whole hell of a lot smaller than I originally thought it was.
And what this is going to do, I guarantee you, by this summer, a slew of books are going to come out. They're going to explain all these little holes that we have on our heads, and that's how Disney's going to make even more money.
Yeah, they're kind of out already. Like there's comics, there's some literature out there that kind of fills in some gaps.
So we can get more ridiculous articles on Wikipedia.
You didn't have during the original movies. You didn't need that to really appreciate the movie. You took it for what it was, and it was nice to have the backdrop later. Now I feel like you need it because it's so many fucking holes in the story. You need the backlot.
Mm-hmm.
So my point of view is Star Wars should always be a standalone experience.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need a book. It doesn't need a comic book. It doesn't need a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Jay, what do you give it overall?
I enjoyed the film, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I again, similar gripes to you guys. That I felt the comedy was overdone. I don't mind kind of like that stuff that you can kind of come to expect from these series, like the kind of droids were always, BB-8 in the X-wing, trying to stop the shit from short circuiting. He fixes one spot, another one fucking fucks up. Like that I expect. But the thing in the beginning with Huxley and I'm holding for General Huxley, like that to me is the same as the beginning of Thor Ragnarok when he's
started off the movie with a prank call.
Yeah, and it's just like
wait.
That's the kind of comedy like I enjoy. But overall, I thought the way the movie looked was beautiful. Probably like the best shot Star Wars to date. I felt the Finn Rose storyline was unnecessary. Basically just giving those characters something to do. And since everything that they did, wind up to get the code breaker, they didn't get the code breaker. They came back, they had a mission on that Star Destroyer the mission. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have these characters, you have to have them doing something. I kind of found that interesting that the good guys didn't always make the right calls in this film between Poe, storyline with Finn and Rose. That ultimately failed, and the mistake that could have cost them all of them their lives. You know, so that was kind of interesting to see because I feel like in these movies, it's always the good guys always win. And even though the rebellion kind of what's left of it scraped by at the end of this film, I would be far pressed to call them winners like in anything because the First Order just kind of dominated them.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not so steep into the lore where it's like, man, like I had expectations for the film and weren't met, so I'm upset. I don't have any of that. I enjoyed what they did. I was happy to see Luke again. I was happy to see, you know, Luke and Leia have a scene together. That final battle with Kylo was pretty badass. The battle in the throne room with Rey and Snoke and the Praetorian Guards was freaking badass. Overall, I enjoyed it, man. Some of the comedy did hit, most of it didn't for me. I didn't feel like it was any worse than any other comedy that we've gotten in the older films because some of that stuff to me is cringeworthy when I watch it back. Overall, I enjoyed the film. I didn't feel bored. You know what I'm saying? I got through it. I was interested, and I've only seen it once, but I'm definitely interested in seeing it again.
Nice. I like what you said about the mission failing for Finn, because I was thinking the same way. It's almost like, you know, like we were already saying, like, oh, they're gonna break into a fucking another Star Destroyer or a fucking spaceship and fucking fix the day, you know, by breaking in and doing it, but it failed, and they got demolished. Like those ships that were headed to that planet were getting destroyed left and right. You know,
Yeah, man. Every time you heard that cannon go off, that was a direct hit.
Yep.
And I think they said there were 30 of them. Dude, a lot of them. I mean, that was a long stretch of them like destroying all them ships. I'm like, next time I watch it, I'm trying to count them.
and it was Poe that was the one that was kind of leading that. He was the one calling the shots, like on that mission. All right, do this because we got to get over here and do that. And he was the one that, you know, tried to do the mutiny because he didn't agree with the admiral's orders, and even that failed. And it just showed that he was making bad decisions, flawed decisions. There was no consequences, so I kind of do agree with, you know, like Gary, like, hey, that's a little fucked up, but I think that's kind of because they're the good guys, and to the kids and maybe the general casual audience, that something like that would fly over their heads. Where the diehards like us, where it's like, man, if that was like a real military, like that dude would be fucking done. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know,
I found that interesting. I just found that interesting.
So Jose, I would have liked one more joke in there, because when Poe woke up and he's like, and he goes over to the pilot, he's like, "Hey, go faster!" And the pilot, instead of saying like, "I'm going top speed already," he should have said, "I'm going as fast as I can. I can't help it that you killed us all, you dumbass." Like, and then like the audience in the theater would have erupted in laughter, stuff like that. That would have been funny. No laughs here. Is it not? Is this wine broken? What the hell's going on?
Superpower fail.
I guess my humor's too dark.
So why don't you give us your take on it?
Yeah, right. I gave it a 9. I liked it very much. I only had minor gripes with it. I pretty much, as Jose, I was very entertained. I liked it very much. I had one of the logical problems I had was directly at the beginning with the bombers. They were sending like 3 or 4 bombers at that one ship, and I don't know, 2 of those 3, depending if it's 3 or 4, were destroyed, and that one bomber was able to get the job done either way. So one bomber would have sufficed, and it would have been way easier to get it through him with all the resistance, but that's my 2 cents. Also, the humor, directly at the beginning, I thought like, oh no, is that turning into Thor Ragnarok 2? It was pretty much shaping up like what it was said with the Surtur scene on Thor Ragnarok. That's the vibe I got from it too. I liked the whole thing of Luke, that he was at first that hopeful character and everything, and then he pretty much turned around because he saw that he was pretty much failing at schooling Kylo, call it that way. But not too much too deep into that. I think it could have been fleshed out more. especially since they teased the whole scene with R2D2 and Luke at first reaching to with his Endo hand and everything. I think they dropped the ball with that. Same with Snoke. No backstory on that guy. It was a dark side Hugh Hefner for me, with the big fucking scar on the head, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Wikipedia pretty much says, yeah, okay, maybe it was an underling of Darth Vader, but I said that to Dave on a call that I don't think Darth Vader would have had the time to I don't know, spend his time on some dude like that and teaching him stuff. Yeah, no, wrong theory about that. I like I also like the new Dark Side cavern they showed with a pretty much the Crustacean butthole, to call it like that. That was interesting with the mirror with the mirror slipping and everything. I think that was good. Yeah, probably my favorite part was the Kylo and Rey fight against the Praetorian Guards. That was pretty much my moment of the movie. So all in all, I think it's easy in my top 3, maybe even top 5. But I'm not that guy that puts up charts of movies, so that's just a rough evaluation.
He's got
But
pop-ups of it.
what do you say?
He has pop-ups of it.
No.
We don't do charts. We do pop-ups.
Yeah, cool. I'm the pop-up guy. Now I get that.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah,
continue.
No, but that's pretty much for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Last drop ball for me was they really put much depth into it, or tried to do it in The Force Awakens with that whole Kylo thing that he raised Vader on top of a roof. You know, that's my shrine, that's my god, kind of like that. His grandfather's the big one and everything, and they dropped the ball without that. They had no Vader helmet shown. There was nothing essentially of Kylo and Vader. He even bashed in his wannabe helmet. The scene was cool, but I think, I don't know, that was unnecessary because he wants to be so bad like him.
I don't think it was unnecessary. I think it was incredibly necessary because it was Snoke goading him on. It was kind of you seeing like the control that Snoke had over him psychologically. I thought that was one of the better scenes.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, it was for me unnecessary because they didn't flesh out Snoke. So Snoke had no leverage on this whole scene because who the hell is that guy? Why does he have that much leverage on Kylo? So the wait for that helmet smashing scene was gone for me.
Yeah. Well, again, like, what do you think though? Like in the original films, the Emperor, we didn't know shit about the Emperor.
That's true too. Yeah, of course.
He's just the Emperor, as Snoke as was the supreme leader. So I'm just taking it like for that. Like, you know, it would have been nice to get some information. I think that's probably what's pissing people off about the film is that they probably wanted info on Snoke. They wanted to probably know more about what, you know, Luke was up to. They probably wanted the origins of Rey's parents. And that answer that they gave you in this movie, you know, I think it might be a misdirect.
Yeah, but I like that too. The whole direction that pretty much everybody can have the Force. That totally sits with me because they establish it. It's the midichlorians. That's what gives them the Force. So everybody's got to have it, and that's what I like. That's a cool new direction. I can dig that. But with Snoke and the Emperor, absolutely true. The problem with that is episode 4 to 6 had the actual space. They had the first 3 in place. There was the space to flesh out the Emperor. With this new one, the Secret Trilogy, what will you do? An interquel trilogy to flesh out Snoke? Not happening. So Snoke will be an enigma. Hugh Hefner out of space. What the fuck?
I mean, they're making a lot of money with these one-off movies, so they could easily do like a one-off and show how like the First Order came about, and you know, get a new character to play Kylo, tell the story of Snoke, how, you know, Hux and Phasma had, you know, had their upcoming in the First Order as well.
Yeah.
You know, because all those characters we kind of know nothing about.
I wouldn't pay for it. I wouldn't pay for it.
No.
I wouldn't pay to go see those movies.
So that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Give us your idea of it.
So first time I saw the movie, I gave it a 6.5, but said a 7, being generous. Second time seeing it, I downed it to a 5.5.
No. Hey.
Yeah. So one of the things about the original trilogy and one of the things about Force Awakens is I view those movies as being fun, even the prequels to a degree. You know, when we were talking about, you were talking about catching the prequels on TV, like even though they're not the greatest movies, they're still watchable because there's an essence of fun to them. This movie was tedious to watch. And, I think of all the things, that didn't feel like Star Wars was that this movie was just very tedious and frustrating to watch. This was a year where we got a movie like Logan, where you're dealing with a broken character. And, the thing I appreciate about Logan is even though that was a bleak, depressing movie, one of the things about that character being broken was that the essence of Logan, the essence of the Wolverine was still there. With Luke, I didn't feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you had this character that in the original trilogy, you see him from, being a teenage boy to being an adult and becoming, stepping into the shoes of a Jedi. And then all of a sudden here we have him as this completely hopeless individual. I mean, this is a man that his father had blown up a fucking planet and killed millions, not directly. I mean, Vader didn't push the trigger, but Vader had, killed a lot of people. And, he had ties to blowing up Alderaan with the Emperor. And he refused to fight him in the end. So I had a hard time swallowing that, Luke went and drew his lightsaber on Kylo. Come the fuck on.
Yeah.
And that, this guy would give up hope. He never gave up hope in Vader. So why would he give up hope in his nephew? I mean, why would he just completely, do anything like that? He was a frustrating character to watch. I mean, I understood why Obi-Wan and Yoda went on the paths that they did, and they, became these kind of eccentric hermits to throw people off of them being Jedi. But, Luke never went through anything like that. And I just kind of felt that it was, this is the one thing we're going to make samey just because, this will be the one connection to Star Wars. I hated like when he got the lightsaber and just threw it over his shoulder, that was just like that. And the lack of acknowledgement of Starkiller Base, it was like The Force Awakens. I like The Force Awakens. I thought it was a fun movie. It might be a retread of A New Hope in certain ways, but I thought it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed the characters. And, I walked out of the theater and wanted to know more about the characters. And this movie really doesn't acknowledge The Force Awakens. And by the end of the movie, the only thing that has really changed in the universe is Luke is dead. And I guess Admiral Akbar is dead too. But it's not like there was like any big lesson learned in the movie. It's like where you start is exactly where you finish. Okay, Luke's gone. Snoke's gone. That's it. The direction I would have liked them to have gone in is, okay, when you're at the casino, and I thought the casino was utterly useless. I mean, an utterly useless arc. I didn't like Rose's character at all. And it was really just like stuff for Finn and Rose to do. And it sucks because I like Finn. The first thing I would have changed is when they go into the casino and the Codebreaker's talking about how, weapons are being sold to both the Resistance and the First Order. They're basically pawns. I would have liked to have seen Rey and Kylo team up and kind of form this gray alliance in fighting both these factions. Because come on, the First Order and the Resistance, it's a war against Ben Solo and Leia Organa at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all the reason in the world to have this team up and bring an end to that. And I would have liked to have seen Luke stuck around to kind of, tell him, hey, man, there's a better way of doing this. The generation before you wanted to bring back democracy and a republic, instead of this empire. I would have liked to have seen that move into episode 9 because, like, the Starkiller base destruction that wasn't even acknowledged, and that should have been the whole movie was, this is gonna be a huge blow to the First Order. I mean, yeah, you could argue that the destruction of the Death Star really wasn't, but after 2 Death Stars and Starkiller base, the First Order has got to be hurting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, they never really acknowledged that. I really wish that Finn had sacrificed himself. If any character was dying, not that I don't like Finn, but that was like the one thing for him to do. That would have been like a lesson learned. That would have been absolute selflessness. And then, you know, Rose beelines him, which could have killed both of them.
Mhm.
And then, you know, she's giving him this talk about love on the fucking battlefield while, you know, their friends are about to be annihilated. And it's like, I would have liked it if either she sacrificed herself to save him, or, you know, he just went in and she was like, oh my God. Yeah, exactly. And that would have made her arc complete. It would have showed that Finn has come full circle from being this coward to being completely selfless. And then her arc was complete. But
I agree with you. I think if they weren't going to commit to kill Finn, they should have killed Rose, and then that would have been what, like, all in, because you saw how he was trying to evacuate, and her sacrifice would have been like that lesson to teach him, like, hey, you know. But yeah, they kept them. I mean,
So-
it's whatever.
So I have a question. So they went out right before he was going to sacrifice himself, and they were on those shabby fucking vehicles, right? Did those vehicles have no weapons? Because I did not remember seeing any of them.
No, they had.
So why wouldn't he have fired? I mean, not that it would have done much, but at least try to fire something into that instead of just going
his gun melted.
Oh, his gun's melted. What was that thing on the left hand side? That wasn't a rocket or some shit. That was just some kind of fucking, like,
might have been a thruster.
Essentially, those things were
engine or some shit.
Essentially, those things were like small B-wings almost.
Yeah, they looked like rusted out Naboo starfighters to me.
Yeah.
See, like, so Extra Zero. So going back to what you just said, you said something about that you didn't like how Luke, you know, he pulled out the saber on Kylo, but he couldn't do it to his own father, right?
I hated that.
So, like, for me, like,
I agree with you there, Jordan. I definitely agree with you there.
I don't know what happened though in the last how many years to Luke, and you got to remember, like, Luke is like, he's the legacy, he's the fucking legend, you know, and everybody's looking to him because he's essentially like,
well, here's the thing though. It's like, Luke's an iconic character. If you read something like, and again, this is apples and oranges, but you go and read like The Dark Knight Returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Frank Miller is like cuckoo, you know, but in that movie, you know, you have like a broken Bruce Wayne who's given up on Gotham and crime's running, but there gets to be the point where he's like, no more, you know.
Exactly.
You know, there was a lot that happened to the character, but they justified it. And the essence of what made Bruce Wayne Batman was still there. I think in this movie, the essence of what made Luke Skywalker was just gone. And that's what made it frustrating and disappointing to me.
I think that's what made the movie, is that he's gone. Like, he gave up. You know, he was done with that shit. Like, you could see it in his teachings, even to Rey. He's like, I don't want to do this no more. He's telling Yoda, like, yo, this is over.
Is that the Luke Skywalker you wanted to see, though? I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, are you satisfied with that?
I mean, he redeemed him.
But he didn't go through enough to be like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we don't know, though. We don't know. We don't know what happened between the films.
It's 16 years in the making, like 30 years, is it, or something? Like, what went on?
You know, the other thing too, I wish they had not shown the flashbacks. So, like, one of the things that makes the original trilogy so effective is there weren't flashbacks. They would tell you things, and then see, we're having this debate, like, well, we don't know what he went through, but if they didn't actually visibly show those things and they just talked about them, then it might be easier to swallow, because, you know, again, it could be up to interpretation rather than an angry ass Mark Hamill standing over Adam Driver like, I'm gonna murder you. Oh wait.
So the thing is, with that particular thing though, we got to see 2 points of view. We saw the Kylo point of view, where he just thought Luke was trying to kill him, and that's what he told Rey. But then when Luke told his story, he was there, he was over him, but he hesitated. And it seemed like he wasn't
still lit up his saber. He's
You know?
still
And
upset.
he was going to shut it off
Philip.
because he even said that as fast as instinctively as he pulled it out, it was
But that's not Luke.
his
That's not
idea.
Luke, though. That's not Luke, dude. He would
See,
not.
but
His
think about it.
intentions were
He's
to go there to kill him.
Yeah, but
And
he's
that's
still
not
a
Luke,
man. He's still a man. He went there. He felt the dark side, and the way he explained it again, I only saw it once, but he seemed to explain it that he felt it very strong in Kylo and Ben. You know what I'm saying? And he went, and it was
Jabba the
like
Hutt was
Yeah, he said it was a dark force that he had greater than he had ever imagined.
you know, so that would probably make him be like, hey, at least think about it, and then you see him thinking about it, and ultimately he was gonna relent.
Yeah, but
From
Jabba
what-
the Hutt was a pretty big piece of crap, and like Luke as a Jedi, like didn't just walk in and say, "Well, Jabba's gonna put people into slavery and ruin a whole bunch of lives on Tatooine."
You're talking about a Luke that's been a Jedi for all but what, a year or two,
Yeah,
and
I
now
get
you're
that.
talking about a guy that's been in war for 20-something years, and he, all that post war stuff is affecting him, and he's probably thinking like, you know what, everybody's looking to me as like I'm the savior, but I don't know how to save people because I decided to teach people to be like me, and I fucking failed. So
Yeah.
now I failed my family, I failed the Resistance, I failed the Jedi Order. So I just want to. That's it. It's over for me. Like I'm done.
And technically, Luke wasn't a Jedi until he defeated Vader anyway. So
Yeah,
Until
well,
he confronted him.
even then,
He
but
didn't defeat him.
the end of Return of the Jedi, there's a sense of optimism, and it's just it's jarring, and it doesn't sit right with me that the character would have that big of a change.
yeah,
And
but
I think
that's
had
also
yeah, Jordan. One more thing too. He idolized his dad, right? And
Yeah.
and I mean, he even said to Yoda, he's like, "I can't kill my own father," kind of thing. So,
but at the same time, Han and Leia were his best friends, and that's their son.
and he couldn't kill their son either.
Yeah, but
Nephew, shit.
But
But
he hovered over him while he was sleeping and lit up his lightsaber.
But that's one thing I thought too. What brings us, because I think Luke.
Which
I think that's
opened the
Luke.
window for Kylo to think that he was going to kill him.
If Kylo can read people's minds, it would have been more effective if they had to do the flashback to have Kylo have a scene where, he said something along the lines of, "You're planning on stopping me if I go against you," or something like that.
Even if they had some flashbacks of Luke and and Ben having, just challenging themselves or something, like, seeing what the dispute was, and then at the end of the day, understanding why Luke went up to his cabin,
Right?
like wanting to kill him.
Well,
And then-
You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
Dom, Luke actually mentioned in his speech to Rey, he said that during their training sessions, he had sensed the dark side in him. I think that's what prompted him to go that night.
But like, kill all that freaking Rose shit, all the Rose and Finn
Right.
story, and just
Yeah.
do some of those flashbacks and kind of give us a more
true.
understanding.
There should have been a line
okay,
about Snoke as well, because Luke says, "Oh, I knew Snoke was reaching out to him." Like, while we didn't know a lot about the Emperor in the original Star Wars trilogy, the thing is, in the 30 years that passed in between Empire and Force Awakens, there should have at least been a line about how Snoke came to power and why they didn't go back to being a republic.
And that's the thing that I feel like is a flaw with these films, is that you don't get that explanation in these films. It depends on all the expanded material for you to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think Snoke is dead, and the reason I don't think he's dead is that Rey and Kylo were still communicating at the end. I think Snoke might be a puppeteer more than anything, and like an embodiment of the dark side.
Well, brother and sister have that bond, Jane.
I don't buy that theory at all. But
You don't think that's where it's going?
I don't think that
No.
they're siblings.
Dom, what do you give the movie overall?
I gave the movie a 6. I say 6 out of 10. So,
Oh.
I enjoyed it. For some parts, I enjoyed the battle. The first battle scene was amazing. I enjoyed it. It gave me reminders of that, like the first start, the reboot of Star Trek, where they go into that battle, and the father like sacrifices the like his command and everything. And it just that whole like setup where you have a battle and everything's going crazy, and just giving that sacrifice that Rose's sister did and it was just very touching. And it kicked off the movie really great. I enjoyed it, and then with Jordan's, I just feel like I could understand the pressures that Luke might have had to face in regards to training young Jedi, that he didn't want to fail or convert or fail them to where they go to the dark side. And I can understand that pressures if you actually read that trilogy book that came after, that's no longer canon. He had, like, in that book, he talks about his stress and his responsibilities to starting the new Jedi Order, and that he didn't want to fail and have one of his students go over to the dark side. So I can understand the pressures of that, and having Ben, his nephew, that person could probably draw more stress to that situation. And I just feel like it could have been better written in regards to him, confronting him and understanding whether if he's truly evil. But I felt like Luke would just give it his 5,000 tries to just try to not to convert to the dark side and save him as much as possibly he can, just like his father. But because Han was willing to do it, Leia probably was willing to do it, and I just think Luke should have been in that same pool.
Yeah.
But I can understand the pressures. I can understand your viewpoints that you're saying that he might have had a sign of weakness, in a moment of weakness where he just didn't want a bad seed in his school, and unfortunately it was his nephew, and a lot of pressures of that being said, and maybe just Xing him off right there and then, so he knows that he could make the Jedi Order, the new Jedi Order that he was doing, successful, and nobody going over to the dark side. But like I said, I like that. I just didn't like the character build that they did for him. I'd just like to see it something.
You didn't like
and then
for Luke?
Yeah, just like I enjoyed his interactions with Rey. I felt it was like a little bit of the Yoda Luke situation back in Empire Strikes Back, kind of feel to it, like he doesn't want to be a part of the Force anymore, and he was pushing her away. But I feel like there should have been a moment where he realizes that she is something special, and take her under her wing, and give more of those scenes where he teaches her and shows her some of the sword work and everything like that. But that never happened. So it's like, how does this?
He did eventually say, "Okay, get up. 3 lessons. That's all I got for you."
3 lessons.
At
I understand that.
At the end of the movie, basically telling Leia, "I'm not the last Jedi." You know what I mean?
Correct. And I just feel also like I think
realization with that event.
And I like Kylo. I loved Kylo's character from the beginning, from Awakens and everything like that. And I feel like I think he's a big part of this story, and he's going to be the focus of this story. And whether he turned good or bad, I was under the understanding that I was more like, when watching the movie, I was under the impression that I don't think Kylo wanted the First Order anymore. I think he wanted to create something new, and he didn't want the Resistance, so he wanted to just destroy everything and just start from scratch. And he was asking Rey to do that with him, and understanding that Rey probably felt that he was still on the evil side. She said no and left. But I feel like there could have been some more plot twists. Some opportunities that were missed, but granted, I'm assuming they wrote this trilogy as a story, and there's a whole planned out theme to this thing. And
no, there's not.
No, there's not.
I hate to say if they wrote it movie by movie, because it's just
they did.
Yeah, it's like,
because Rian Johnson wrote and directed this, and he was just like, well.
Yeah. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it George Lucas's way, man. You have to write the whole damn story out. Or
at least have the outline. Have the outline at least.
Yeah, at least have the outline. Understand where characters are going, then you can build those little smaller indie stories with Rose and Finn. I really think Finn. I was hoping that Finn's character was a little bit more, or even Poe Dameron's character a little bit more, because he is a great pilot. Maybe he is Force sensitive, and maybe if Rey went over to the dark side with Kylo, maybe one of those two characters would be the new hero that we're looking for, like a
I
little twist.
would have hated that more than the movie that
So
that was given. I would have hated that.
So
Yeah,
you guys think Poe is going to be the next
film.
Han Solo with him and Ray hooking
No,
up?
he's going to be the next admiral of the fleet. I mean,
Think so?
that's what
Well,
they queued
Akbar's
that up
dead.
so many times in that movie. Like even at the end, Leia's like, "What are you looking at me for? Follow him." Like like I'm done. Like it's a wrap for her, and that's the next level is Poe.
I think they dropped the ball on Snoke because I think his character, he's so powerful, dude. He was like pushing
That's why I think he's.
How far were they going to push Snoke though? They had to get rid of him because they needed Kylo to step up.
Granted,
and you got to remember Kylo's essentially he's a Sith, right? So you can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. He was lying to Rey the whole movie.
But they could have had Snoke. They could build Snoke up to be, if he was a puppet, if he was like just an embodiment of the dark side of the Force, like he could have been pulling the strings and influencing, the Sith cause the whole time from afar. I have a theory that maybe he's even in Hux, since when Hux discovers his body, like you see like Snoke's face all twisted, and then there's a zoom in on Hux, and Hux acts a little bit different for the rest of the movie. And also, Hux isn't still in a position where he can influence Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a cool twist, But like the thing is I also I feel like the and just I love the scene with Luke and Leia, like that kind of
that was nice.
There.
Yeah,
that was a great scene. Unfortunately, it was his his hologram, whatever the case may be.
How about that Matrix shot when he dodged the saber and it went into slow mo? I was like, really?
We gotta actually wrap the conversation up.
I'm gonna come short. Yeah, we're gonna continue unbroadcasted, of course, and we're probably gonna go till midnight or past discussing this movie. But let's wrap up the show at this point, and I hope all the listeners, if you're enjoying it, hop in, to the after party. Hit us up for the link. Brian, were you keeping track of the chat?
Actually, I wasn't. I was waiting for my turn to talk. Hold on a second.
But
all right.
Point.
All right.
I watched DTR.
All right, I got it.
And
all right. Okay, so ready?
Either really, but whatever.
Chat winging them. Chris G, Ralph L, BZ Fresh, EE Prime 20. We had Adrian in here again. We had Walter, minifigure collector, who wants us all to know that his birthday's on Christmas. And we had Retro Now, KJ Smith, Sean S, Lord Shadowkeeper, Frogman78, and Count Von Strange the Fourth. Nice. Thanks for participating, guys. We always appreciate it. Let's just run down the line, get some quick where you at. Todd 1.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Facebook as Check the Level, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. Tim K.
Instagram at Figure Photography Crate, Tim K in the Facebook groups.
All right. JD.
JD Brocious in the Facebook groups. Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Here with you guys Tuesdays. Well, won't be for a bit, but I think we have a new show this Thursday for Figure Banging.
Oh yeah.
Not Wednesday. I believe it's Thursday.
Yeah, it's not Wednesday. I know it's not Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not Wednesday. But more information soon. Yeah.
I got better things to do on Wednesday night than do figure banging, so we're doing it the Thursday. That's a little teaser. That's a little teaser for you.
Zero.
All right, so you can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. On Twitter, you can find me at the Original Zero. I can always use more followers if you want some Transformers news up in your life. If you don't have enough already, and Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, you can find me as Extra Zero, and of course, you'll be able to find me in the next evolution of these Hangouts.
All right.
Leave it at that.
All right, Big Dom.
Find me at Dominic Grosso on the Facebook groups and here Tuesdays and hopefully in the future.
Energon Addict.
Yeah, you could find me on Instagram, Energon Addict, David Cologne on the Facebook groups, and arguing with these guys for the rest of the night because I disagree with a lot of what they said, but I did not have time to do that.
Fuck
And
you,
I gave
Dave.
it 8.
Let the hate
Smoking
flow
weed, Dave.
All right. And Brian Brink.
Brian Brink in the Facebook groups. Brinkalizer at Brinkalizer on Instagram. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
And-
We don't talk to you before then.
Merry Christmas.
I test for myself, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, all that Harrican BX, as it says right there below. Pay attention to January 2nd, 2018, guys. Pay attention. We're on Facebook as a group, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors and on Twitter. And then What's in the Fucking Box and Shelf Life videos to Enter the Realm Cast at gmail.com. Remember to pull up a chair to the Cool Table Network, a hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Figure Banging, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer and Bolton 48, they block 8 weeks, building up to it, and possibly New Year. Stay tuned. You can find the Cool Table on Facebook and subscribe to the other great podcasts on iTunes and Google Play, as well as through the feed on our website, RamaCollectors.com. Remember, merchandise available for you guys. Check it out, please. And with that, that's our show tonight. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody listening. We are the ROC. Maybe not. But get to know us. See you next week, guys. Or maybe not.